Today we're talking once again about Mac Jones. Today is Wednesday the 16th, but we're taking a look at the practice from Tuesday the 15th, not to confuse anyone. Be sure to destroy the like button if you want me to make more Mac Jones practice videos. It helps the channel out tremendously when you like and comment down below, so be sure to do those two things. Mac Jones had a super solid practice, guys. Super accurate, maybe the most accurate practice I've seen out of all the film that I watched. Just watch the way he runs onto the field. After his practice on the 14th, that was his best of so far his Patriots career. It looks like he is feeling very confident running onto the field here. I'll tell you this much, he definitely has a pep to his step walking onto his 5th practice as a Patriot where the media was allowed to cover it. Now, a few practices ago, it seemed like they only had him throwing to the tight ends like all day, and it was the same story in yesterday's practice. Every single throw here is to a tight end, you'll notice that. Now, this first one is a throw to Hunter Henry, and I love this pass because a lot of people in my previous video were talking about, oh, he doesn't have any power, he only lobs the ball. But as you can see, he's able to really put some velocity on this one. So he can do it all. He tends to lob it when he doesn't have to throw a laser. So if like a dude is wide open in the side of the end zone and there's not a defender around, throw him a soft pass. You don't have to throw him a bullet. That's how you get your receiver to accidentally drop a pass in the end zone. So he's very situational with how hard he's throwing the ball, and he is capable of throwing some lasers, but he's also capable of putting a really, really nice touch pass in there as well. He has a very good palette of different throws. This next clip has multiple throws in it, so I'm just going to walk you through it. Now, this first throw, as you can see, is a great example of one of those more touch passes that I was mentioning. Look at how soft this throw is, and it makes it easy for Matt Lacoste to catch that one there. The next one is a bullet to Hunter Henry again, so this one's a lot faster, as you can see. Again, just that variety there. The third one comes in, and this is to Matt Lacoste again, another bullet type, high velocity throw. And then finally, a throw here to Devin Asiasi into the end zone, which was more of a bullet as well. So this is a great clip that just shows the different throws he can make. We had one more of a lob, softer touch pass, which would be a great throw for a wide open wide receiver because you want your receiver to be able to catch it. They drop those bullets sometimes. We see NFL caliber, we see great wide receivers drop bullet passes sometimes when it's just too hard. Obviously, 9 times out of 10 they do catch it, but if you throw a lob pass to a wide receiver, it's very, very rare for them to drop that catch as long as it's right there and there's no defender, which that does happen. That is a situation that does occur in the NFL and at the college level, obviously. So Mac Jones is very, very familiar with making that type of throw, and he has a wide palette of these different throws. We see some quarterbacks that can only just throw it with 100% force, and they don't know any other way to throw it. And I think also these lob passes are great in deep ball situations. You don't have to fling it down the field. You can throw a nice high arching throw here, and that is what Mac Jones is really, really great at. And he also can throw a nice bullet as well, but especially the lob pass is just, and the touch pass is just a great skill set that he has. And we have one final throw here from Mac Jones here, and this was a touchdown to Hunter Henry. This was a great example, again, of a bullet pass, and you can see he throws this one kind of low, which is another pass that would actually be good in certain situations. Sometimes passing it this low can be a little safer than throwing it higher because the defender isn't really looking, so he's not going to be able to kind of bend down to go get it. But if the wide receiver's watching, he will have adequate time to go ahead and lower his body to catch that low pass. That is a situational pass, and I'm sure it was intentional in this case. So a really, really good pass there as well. Again, every single pass today was to tight ends. You probably noticed that as well. So very interesting. We haven't really seen him through. I've maybe seen like 1 or 2 passes to wide receivers and then 1 pass to a running back, and then the rest were tight ends. So I'm expecting this season to be a tight end heavy season, and that's not really surprising. We have Jonnu Smith and Hunter Henry. When you bring those two guys on, it's clear you want to get your tight end game on point. I mean, that is the goal. I'm sure that's what they had in mind when they went ahead and got those guys. This last and final clip I'm just going to let you listen to. I absolutely love this. This was actually at a press conference with Cam Newton, and the words he says here is just so wise about Mac Jones, and he talks about drafting him and how that affects the way he's going to play this upcoming season and how he will have a chip on his shoulder. So here it is. Give it a listen.
Absolutely not. It didn't make me feel any type of way because he was the right pick, what I'm saying, in my opinion. And, he was the best player available, and that's what the NFL draft is for. As far as, having any chip on the shoulder. Like, I mean, you're stating the obvious. I don't need too much to get myself going, let alone, that happening. And it's no disrespect to Mac. It's no disrespect to, Bill and his decision. I support it 110% because you still have to do what's right for the organization, for the long haul. So, like I said, will reiterate, it's like we all have to make each other better. And it starts with ourselves and holding ourselves to a daily standard. And, Josh said it best, this off season is about getting back to a championship standard. And from meeting time to when you check in, when you clock out, understanding what you're supposed to do on top of the other 10 people that you're out there with, and just putting everybody at ease. So, no matter who's out there, we're going to push each other to get better. And that's what we're expected to do.
Now, I absolutely love everything that Cam Newton said here. This is exactly what you want to hear from your more veteran quarterback on the team. He supports the decision. He understands why it happened. He's not going to be butthurt about it, and if anything, he's going to use it to motivate himself. Yesterday, I made a comment in my video that a lot of people were like, what in the world? I said, I think Mac Jones could be trying to be the starter this year. He could be trying to compete for that job. And a lot of people were like, what in the world? A lot of people were saying that would not be good and that Cam Newton needs to start and that would actually be better for Mac Jones. And I 100% agree. So I made that comment that I think Mac Jones could be getting ready to potentially try to go for the starting role this season because he's competitive, and that's what he's going to do. If a guy isn't trying to compete for the starting job, you've got problems. So I'm glad to see he's competing for that position. But what would be best, because at the end of the day, I'm a Patriots fan, and if Cam Newton is the starter, and if Mac Jones never pans out, which I don't think that'll happen, but if that is the case, I'm still a Patriots fan. That is what it is. I'm cheering for the Patriots more than I'm cheering for Mac Jones. So if Mac Jones is going to come in and stink up the joint, I don't want that to happen. I want the Patriots to do good. So at the end of the day, I think what would be best for Mac Jones and what would be best for the Patriots is if Cam Newton comes out and plays amazing. Because if we can get a good season with Cam Newton, that's going to give Mac Jones time to learn. If there's a situation where Cam Newton absolutely sucks and Mac Jones has to come in, you don't want that to happen. We want Mac Jones to come in because he's actually ready for that position and he's competed and he's beat out a good quarterback for the starting position. We don't want Mac Jones to come in because we need him to potentially try to win some games this season. That would be the absolute worst thing that could happen for Mac Jones and the worst thing that could happen for this organization this season. We want great quarterback play from Cam Newton, and we want him to be able to be a starting caliber quarterback this year and give us a competitive quarterback play. And if he doesn't, we want Stidham to be able to come in and give us good quarterback play. Whatever keeps Mac Jones in a position where he comes in when he's ready to come in and not when we need him to come in is what is best for this team and what is best for Mac Jones. So let that be clear. Don't get it mixed up. That is how I feel about this season and how I feel about Mac Jones. Let me know if you guys agree, but that is where my standpoint is. I'm a Patriots fan, not a Mac Jones fan, 100%. I'm just going to read off a few tweets here to close out the video. Andrew Callahan tweeted, Patriots minicamp day 2, because obviously this is the second day we're talking about of mandatory minicamp. Mac Jones was definitely the best quarterback for a second day, albeit he finished poorly. Newton was 10 of 17 and threw 1 interception. Jones was 17 of 25. Notice he got the most reps, so that's very interesting. But he threw 2 interceptions. So let me clarify this. We see down below, Stidham was 5 of 8, which is pretty good. He just got the least amount of reps. Dante Hightower high-pointed an interception in team drills. Defense went nuts. Shaq Mason and Jonnu Smith sat out. Jonnu Smith is dealing with a hamstring thing. I think we've already talked about that. Maybe not. But Mike Reese, I think that's how you say his name. I've never had to say it until I started making these videos. He kind of clarified the 2 interceptions here for Mac Jones. So Mac Jones was intercepted by Dante Hightower in 11-on-11 drills as he attempted to arc a short touch pass over him. So this seems like it was a super athletic play by Dante Hightower the more I've listened to this and heard things about it. And really, it could have easily been a great pass. It's just Dante Hightower made a great play. So we kind of blame Mac Jones for one like that. But at the same time, it is just practice. So you kind of do take more risks. You're not, whatever. The second one totally wasn't Mac Jones' fault because it was tipped at the line of scrimmage. So this is just, you can cross that one off the list. Kyle Van Noy went ahead and got that one. So good to see him coming back and getting an interception. Also, some cool news. We see that one of my favorite players, Kyle Duggar, had an interception off of Cam Newton. That one seems like it was more of a, not his fault type situation as well. But it was cool to see Kyle Duggar getting involved, getting an interception because he has not had a career interception yet. So that's very exciting to hear about Kyle Duggar. It seems like the defense played absolutely great, and there's nothing that could be better for our quarterbacks, especially the young ones, than playing against an excellent defense in practice. Because if you're playing against the best and you can get good at playing against them, you're going to have an easier time against these other defenses in the NFL, where the Patriots are likely a top 5 defense. My reasoning for thinking that is last season they were a top 8. They were the 8th ranked defense. We've had so many notable opt-outs return this season from last season, and also we've brought in a ton of free agency talent on the defense as well. These two things combined lead me to believe that we will be the 8th or better defense in the NFL. I think top 5 is a good likelihood. And if they're not a top 5 defense, I think it's an underperformance based on the money we spent, based on the talent we have. And that would be a bad situation. We would need to kind of look to the coaches as to why the defense didn't play good. The amount of talent, barring injury, is, should be easily a top 5 defense. That being said, the quarterbacks are playing against a great defense. They should be getting great practice. 2 interceptions by Mac Jones is not ideal, but we had some other players. Just to name a few examples that I've seen, Patrick Mahomes threw 5 interceptions in one practice in his rookie season. So this happens to great players. This happens to bad players. This happens to all players. So it's not necessarily a big deal. Now, if he starts consistently doing this, that might be reason for concern. But just to see this happen in one day isn't too big of a deal. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching this long video. This has probably been my longest Mac Jones practice video. I wanted to clear up a few notes and get my opinions out there towards the end of this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I'm hoping to make another Mac Jones minicamp video tomorrow, so be on the lookout for that. Be sure to destroy the like button down below if you want me to make that extra Mac Jones video tomorrow. Be sure to leave a comment down below letting me know what you think. It also helps the YouTube algorithm out as well, so I appreciate all of those. And be sure to subscribe so you don't miss our future uploads on the Best Patriots YouTube channel. I'll see you guys tomorrow.